Okay. I'm just gonna sit here and wait. Telling people that this is happening. Sharon! What's up, girl? Hey, Joe. Hello. Thank you for your message the other day. That was very sweet. Hello, Simon. Hello, Neil. Alex Snow. But yeah, I bet you're not a bastard. I don't know why I said that. What's up, girl? And Louise D. Good name. Welsh Weaver 84. Hello. Neil. So, listen, I should explain Wagwan. All right, Quincy. Bless you. I always see Pringle Leah, but it's not that, is it, really? Anyways, sup, Quince, Welsh Weaver. Okay, so what's happening is, I said the other day, or I've been saying all week basically, that I'm going to do these talks about, I'm going to just give a bit of time for people to join or leave if this is not something that's interesting to them. But I wanted to just like do some live chats about being creative, because like I watch a lot of sorry, I've got to lower my chair, it's a bit high. I watch a lot of vids about like people like Jason Silver and stuff like that, and they do these great videos, and sometimes they talk about being creative or being a creative, but they don't always. Hello everyone. Hey Joey. Hey Sean. Fash 411. Fash. Yeah, but they don't always talk about. They sometimes touch on creativity, but they don't always talk about it. So I was thinking, fill a gap in the market. I would do that. So that's what it is today. And I was thinking Sunday night is a good time to do that, or well, Sunday basically. I don't know. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. But I thought Sunday's a good time. Get us all ready for the week ahead. I mean, you know, that's always good, rather than the news and all the shitty things that are happening in the world. So that's the thinking behind this. So it should be, two people have already gone, I'm out. So it should be about, I don't know, about 45 minutes. And feel free to jump in with thoughts and stuff like that. This is just like some thinkings that I had. And, you know, if you disagree or you want to add something, then, you know what I mean? Just jump in. Okay, so first thing that was on my mind about... Oh yeah, I didn't tell you the topic. Ha! How about that? So I was thinking, what would I start with? And I thought the nice thing to start with would be talking about... knowing your truth, finding your truth as a performer, you know, whatever, or an artist or whatever. And I just thought it felt a bit too airy-fairy to me. It felt like I needed to start somewhere that's a bit more real and something that people have to deal with all the time when it comes to being an artist. Doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a painter, whether you're a photographer. Good luck with my topic, thanks Quincy. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to face rejection. So I thought it would be a good place to start, and hopefully by the end of it find a place to be with the rejection that isn't as negative as sometimes it feels like when you're going through it. So first of all, I thought the place to start was, why is there so much rejection in you know, when you're a creative, when you're an artist? And I suppose the first thing to think about is why people want to do it, why people want to be artists, why do they want to create. Hello Shawnee, hello Joey Orazi and the Blue Knight. So what I was thinking was, I think that all of us are creative. I think everyone is being creative every day. So, you know, like for example, a mother of four or whatever who's got to generate a meal out of nothing because she hasn't had time to go to the shops, or like my brother works in financing for the NHS, and like stretching the money that the NHS gets given is an act of creativity every day. So everyone's creating in their own way every day. But I suppose the difference is with artists, you're deliberately creating and you're producing something that's going to create an experience for your audience, whether it's, you know, looking at your paintings, watching your comedy, seeing you act, or whatever. You're creating an experience. So you're sort of doing it deliberately. And then also there's talent. And then some people say, well, what's talent? Well, talent is like a repeatable skill that you can do over and over again. So like rather than someone just being able to, I don't know, they did one great drawing, you've got to be able to continue to create this fantastic work. That's talent. So if you're being a creative and you're trying to do it, you're trying to do it deliberately, why do so many people want to do that? As listed in the NLP course. Oh, great. Cool. So why do so many people want to go into like the creative industries? Because you don't see people clamoring to get into any other business in the way that people want to be singers, they want to be stand-ups, they want to be actors. You don't get people like desperate to be doctors and willing to do it for, you know, drinks and exposure. People who want to be artists will work for free and they'll start up on their own. Why is it that people want to do it so much? So I was thinking, well, there's two things. One is that it's an ego thing. There's trappings if you get to be successful at it, and we all know what they are. There's riches. Oh, cool, thanks, Carly. Hey, Carly. So there's riches beyond measure if you get to the very top of your tree. There's recognition, you know, there's all these things. But I think a lot of that is to do with the ego. Like, because they say that once you get a certain amount of money, and I think it's like you're earning 50 grand a year, there's no extra happiness that comes with any extra money. And I know some people are like, yeah, right, well, I'll take my chances. But actually there isn't any more sort of joy or contentment that comes into your life once you've reached that. So because you can provide yourself with a certain level of comfort. So the trappings, I think, is an ego thing. I think there's something bigger than that appeals to all of us, and that's like the opportunity to be present and to be in a flow state and to, I'm going to say it, touch God. Not in a sexy way. And when I say God, I'm not talking God in a Christian sense or a religious sense or something like that. I'm talking about something bigger than who we are. A bigger force, there's something out there, the universe, whatever you want to call it, but you're tapping into something bigger and greater than who you are by being a creative. I had a thought when I was like, after a stand-up gig about why, because I was thinking, why do people get angry when comedy doesn't make them laugh or they don't enjoy it? Because it's not like, the weird thing about comedy, be it stand-up or like a TV show, if someone doesn't think a drama's very good, they'll just go, that wasn't very good, and they'll move on. But if they don't think a comedy or a stand-up is funny, my God, people get angry. And I started to think, why is that? And I think it's because what people want from their experience of art, creativity, entertainment or whatever, is they want to feel being in the present. That's what they want. Hello, Mr. Fresh Laundry, Izzy Va. Yes, it is also something different from the norm, Joey. But they want to feel present. Because, like, if you go to a great stand-up show where everyone, like, all the comedians are killing it, you ask the audience afterwards, name all the comedians, and they'll be like, oh, there was... And they won't be able to. Tell me one routine that you really loved. Oh, they can't, because they were so present and in the moment when it was going well that they're using a different part of their brain and they're being taken out of themselves. It's like when you go and see, hey Elle, it's like when you go and see a beautiful ballet or something, or an opera or something like that. I mean, it wouldn't do that for me, but like people watch these things to be transported out of their own lives, out of the mundane and into the present. In our lives, it's very difficult to live in the present because we're bombarded with so much information about what we should be doing, what we haven't done already, and our minds are just constantly going. So art, creativity, entertainment gives us an opportunity to just be totally present. And I think from the artist's perspective, when you're creating, it also gives you that opportunity to be totally present, because if you've ever created something where you just get into a mindset where you're just like, time just disappears. There's a guy called Jamie Will and Stephen Kotler. They wrote a book called Stealing Fire, and it's about the flow state. And they describe it as selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, and richness. And I think that is what artists are trying to tap into. And it's almost like what's the word? It's like something that we need. It's like a human need, like to be able to do this, which is why I think so many people want to become artists. Creativity also lets people escape real life or stresses of life and helps distract. Exactly. But what are they distracting from? They're distracting from a life that doesn't allow you to be in the present, I would say. Okay. So, if that's why people want to be creative, to be able to tap into that experience, then no wonder so many people, especially if it's a want. And also, you know, the fact that you can do that to an audience, you know, people are going to want a piece of that. It's quite a sort of a magical space. It's totally out of the ordinary. I think, Joey, you said that earlier. It's totally out of the ordinary of how people normally live. So it means that loads of people are going to want to do it. The problem is that there's no, with creativity or being an artist, there's no measure. So I've got my notes here, so I'm just having a quick butchers at them. There's no measure of when you're ready. Like, if I decide tomorrow that I'm going to be a singer, there's no one to tell me I can't do it. I mean, other than people not booking me to perform at their shows because I can't sing or something. But there's no one to stop me doing it. Some people start doing something creative on a whim. Like, there's a show at the Comedy Store in London called The Gong Show, and it's on a Monday night, I think it's like the first Monday of the month, where comedians, like, you know, regular, like, working comedians go up and they do this gong show. But I think they still do this. There's a point in the night where they say, okay, anyone in the audience want to give it a go? Now, occasionally I think a ringer slips in and pretends like, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. I've never done stand-up before. But a lot of times, it's someone just goes, I think I can do this. I suppose the comedian's job is to make it look easy, but it is kind of funny that, like, people just on a whim decide to give it a go. You can't do that with so many professions. Like, an architect isn't like, yeah, I just sort of build houses, like, in the evening, weekends, still doing my day job, you know, but you just don't have the same relationship with creativity as other professions do with, like, acquiring a skill set. You just start. And that's brilliant. The fact that you can just go, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to become a painter. I'm going to become a photographer. But what that means is the whole arena is flooded with people who've just decided that they're ready, that they're good enough. And unfortunately, that leads to, you know, there being more people than there are seats at the table, because at the end of the day, it's finite, isn't it? The number of opportunities there are that are out there that are paid is finite. And so this is why we have rejection. So that's why I had to say all of that, to just give a foundation as to why there's rejection. Because basically, there's more people than there are seats at the table. Carly, and I think that's brilliant. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it's like there's no compulsory training for anybody to have to do it. Like, even if you wanted, there's drama school, like say you wanted to be an actor, there's drama school, but you don't have to do it. There's art school, but you don't have to do it. There's music college, but you don't have to do it. Majority of painters and photographers I know have degrees and are well read in different techniques as well as the industry. Listen, I'm not saying that everyone started doing what they do on a whim. What I'm saying is, you don't have to. All those friends that you have could have started, they could have learned their skills on the job or whatever, but they chose not to. They chose to take a formal route with their training. And lots of people do. That's why there's film schools, art colleges, you know, photography schools, etc., etc. I'm not saying, look, there's no right or wrong here. It's more just pointing out that you can just start. You can just start. After this, somebody might just start. They might just go, fuck it, I'm going to start. All I'm saying is that ability to be able to do that means there's more seats. There's not enough seats at the table. So, there's rejection. And also what makes rejection tougher is, thanks, Stint 18. What makes rejection tougher is the thoughts that come along with it when it happens. So you might think, but I did a good job, or I deserve this, or I need this, or I've been doing this long enough, or I wrote down another one, I've had no luck, that was it. Yeah, so all those things can be thoughts that people, cheers Elle, are things that people can think when the rejection happens that makes you feel shitty about it. But the problem is, and listen, I'm just going to say this up top, I've thought all those things. So I'm not judging. This is not about judgment. This is just about the sort of, the anatomy of rejection, and then we can find another way to be with it. Hello, you I can't say. So all these things, they're all really, I would say, in the school or the wheelhouse of entitlement. Because the thing is, just because you're doing something doesn't mean that you deserve success. It could come your way, but you're not necessarily entitled to it. And I think, unfortunately, there is a degree of entitlement that comes along with trying to be an artist. Like, I'm doing it. Why aren't people, buying into what I'm doing? Why aren't people getting on my gravy train? Or putting me on their gravy train. And I think that entitlement is very different from self-belief. Self-belief is something completely different. Self-belief is just an inherent belief in yourself and in your ability, and that you're doing a good job. And I think someone just said something about you can't listen to what, here it is, yeah, Joey saying you can't listen to what people say. Keep working harder until you get better. I mean, I'm going to get to that point. My point here is that self-belief is just different from entitlement, because entitlement, I think, comes with a sort of a degree of complaint, like, I'm doing this, and why aren't I being noticed? And I'll say again, I have thought these thoughts so many times, but I'm trying to train myself to catch myself and remind myself that I'm not owed anything. None of us are owed anything, going into a life of like being a creative. We're not owed success. But hopefully, if we learn our trade and get good at what we do, people will recognize that and opportunities will come along. So that's entitlement, very different from self-belief. I saw a thread the other day. Hey, Craig. I saw a thread. Hey, Joe. I saw a thread the other day where some artists, were talking about how, I'm going to have to put this as delicately as I can, but they were talking about how they were annoyed that other artists in their field, there was only one type of artist from their field that seemed to be being represented on TV. And it was really interesting, like, watching this thread develop as more and more people jumped on and were like, yeah, and it shouldn't be like that, yeah. And the thing is that all the people that were complaining were not on TV. So it's very hard not to look at that thread and go, I don't get that you are complaining for the greater good. I think you're just complaining to justify why you should be on TV. And it comes from a place of entitlement. I've done my time. I've been doing this 25 years. I've been doing this 10 years. I've travelled all over the world, whatever. I've done this. It comes from a place of entitlement. We're not owed anything. If we get opportunities, we have to treat them as gifts rather than just desserts, I would say. So then the next thing is, hey, Mandy. So the next thing is, then why do we get rejected? Well, I broke it down to 3 R's. I don't know if this works for you, but try this on for size. You're not right, you're not ready, and any other random reason. So that just covers everything else. So you're not ready. Relevance. I might ask you to explain that, wax pusher. Let me start with you're not ready. I think this is probably where most of the rejection happens. I'm guessing. I have no idea, no stats. But you're not ready means that maybe there's just more for you to learn about your discipline. changing markets and demands. Yeah, I mean, I think that comes under you're not right. But for not ready, I remember when I started acting, I just assumed that, I mean, at the time, you know, one of the big shows, I guess for an actress to get cast in would have been Bad Girls. I remember my agent told me, and I've been acting like less than a year, I think, and my agent told me that he had put me up for Bad Girls, and not even that I'd got an audition, but that he'd submitted my information, and I was just like, I will be on Bad Girls by the summer. It didn't occur to me that I didn't have the skills to be able to handle a regular role in a big TV show like that. I just and by the way, I was also one of those people that had just started. I'd done a part-time part-time acting course for a year, and I think I was still doing it. I might have still been doing it at the point that this happened. Gender isn't ready for you. It's the best show. Bad Girls was a good show. I don't know, Joey. I'll come back to that. Let me have a think about that. But yeah, so and I was shocked, frankly, that they didn't call me in for an audition. But I just didn't have the skills. I mean, I've been acting since like 2003, and I genuinely only feel like I'd say around 2015, so 12 years later, have I started to even begin to acquire skills that I could say, yeah, okay, I might be ready for a regular role in something now. But it was sort of that naive belief in myself that sort of projected me into thinking, oh yeah, I'm totally ready for this sort of stuff, but I might not have been. I definitely wasn't. Every now and again, you see these email or Facebook posts get circulated, rejection letters that the Beatles got, rejection letters that U2 got, blah blah blah, and people going, don't the people who turned them down feel stupid now? And I actually have always thought, whenever I've seen those posts, no, they actually might not. Because look, at the end of the day, who knows what was on that original Beatles demo tape that was sent 5 years before they got famous? They could have been shit. They could have been like the worst. It could have just been Paul McCartney on a guitar made out of Meccano and elastic bands, and like Ringo in the back just hitting boxes with knitting needles. It could have been terrible. So that sent them off on a path that could have made them who they are today. So instead of those people who turned them down early doors feeling stupid, maybe they're like, you're welcome, world. We helped to make the Beatles. So sometimes you're just not ready. Sometimes you think you are, but the industry's... I remember sending a script to a guy who I sort of met when I used to work in post-production, and he's like a producer, a production company. And I was like, great, I've got an in. I can send him my script. And I sent him this script, and he was so sweet. He got one of the readers to his company to read it and give me some notes and feedback. And even called me in for a meeting. And on my way to the meeting, I was just like, this is it, going to be the big time. How much do they what's the fee that you get for... writing one script? Oh, it's this much. Okay, so you've got to write 6 scripts. I'm going to be like coining it. And he was just like, no, you're not ready, girl. Ringo still hits boxes with a knitting needle. Negatives into positives. Yes, Joe. When I don't even have to go back and read that script to know that it was shit. And they were very sweet to even look at it. Hello, London lad, JB. They were very, very sweet to even look at it. I'm touched, but I wasn't ready. I know it. I don't even have to go back and look at that script to know it. So sometimes you're just not ready. Sometimes you're just not right. And that's nothing to do with you, whether you're good or bad at your job, or whether you did a good job, say if it's an audition, you're good in the room. Sometimes you're just not right. Again, recent example. What did I do? Oh yeah, I went for an audition, and I'm drinking out of a jar. I went for an audition for a great role. This is about sort of 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. And it was a great role. And I killed it in the room. I'm just going to say. No, I just really worked hard for the audition, and I put in a lot of thought into it, and just allowed myself to be loose and free in the room, and just like really sort of respond to what was being sent my way and all the rest of it. And I sort of walked out of there just thinking, I've done the best I can. But I really wanted this role, so I started doing all kinds of like working the crystals, doing affirmations, thinking about it, not thinking about it, doing everything I thought I could do to sort of help the universe send this role my way, because it was such a good job. Anyway, so so my agent goes on Monday. Oh yeah, we'll hear something on Monday. Monday came and went, didn't hear anything. Got to the end of the week, didn't hear, and I'm trying to be cool, so I'm not like hassling her every 5 minutes and going, what's good? Literally 2 weeks go by. And I get a call it's in my middle of the night, because I was here, I'm in LA at the moment, and my agent's like, uses the key phrase, the stock phrase that they always use is, it went another way. That's what they always say. It went another direction, it didn't go your way. That type of language. I was like, okay, cool. Oh, I was gutted. I was genuinely gutted, because I really thought that I just really thought that this was going to go my way. There was literally 2 of us that they were choosing between. And I didn't get it. I was like, how the fuck did I not get it? It's like, that is bad luck. If you're one of 2 people and you still didn't get it. And they said that the reason that I didn't get it was because they cast somebody in another role that would have been working with the character that I'd read for, and they felt like we were too similar and that it just wouldn't have worked. So basically, I wasn't right. And I was really pissed off with this other actor, because I knew who they were. And I was like, oh, you just lost your job, oh God. But then I saw who had got the role. And I was like, of course. If I was casting this, I would have cast her. She was just the right person for the role. And I could then, seeing her and knowing the guy that got the other role that sort of put me out of the picture, I could see how that's a much better dynamic than me and this other guy. It just totally made sense. I wasn't right. I just wasn't right for the role. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read these, so you might have to. Yeah, no, you're right, Sharon. I was lucky to get a reason. I think it was because there was only the 2 of us, so they weren't having to be on the blower loads and loads of actresses to go, it wasn't you because. But yes, so. And then I saw the woman and I thought, yeah, she's absolutely the right person for the role. Sometimes you're just not right. I think, Joey, it was you that said earlier about relevance. Sometimes, relevance might come into it. I mean, I don't like that term because it sounds so dismissive, but trends change, people change, demands, desires change, and sometimes what you're offering goes out of favour. That's another way of saying you're not right. So, you're not ready, you're not right, and then every other random occurrence. There's so many things that can happen that are outside of your control, that are, things that you don't even, things that you can't control, things that you have no idea about, things that the people who are wanting to hire you have no control over. Too tall. My friend, a school friend, when I was at primary school, she got an audition for the Royal Ballet, and that was exactly the reason she didn't get in. She was too tall. You just think, these ballerinas are like storks. You should want the tall ones, but apparently she was too tall. And so this girl who had been sort of, almost the queen of our school for having got this huge opportunity. She was in the local paper. Next thing you know, she's down at the bottom of the pile again because she's too tall. So there's all kinds of things outside of your control. Your theatre teacher says, think about Baskin Robbins. You may be mint chip ice. Oh my God, it's just gone too fast. Saw you a few years back in Durham. Lovely. Okay. From the Tesco's. No, I don't remember. Sorry. All right, so we're nearly there. And then I'll be able to read comments and such like. All right, so. Also, oh, this is another thing as well. We also think that things are meant to happen in accordance with our... Oh, it was... Joe, you'll know who this is. It was Amanda Vass. She was... When we were at primary school, she got an audition for the Royal Ballet. So, the other thing is we think that our career path should happen by our own definition and by a timeline that we've decided for ourselves. And it just doesn't work like that. Because say there is this other force outside of us who's got a bigger idea for what they want for us. There might be some things that we need to know before we have our success. Because an example I thought of the other day is like J.K. Rowling. She was basically homeless. She was living in poverty. She had nothing, just her idea. And she got a load of rejections for Harry Potter before it got picked up. And just think, like, if the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, hadn't taken her through that experience, maybe she wouldn't have that generosity of spirit, quite that generous. I'm sure she's a very generous person anyways, but she wouldn't have had the generosity of spirit she does now. She's given away so much money that she's basically bequeathed herself or whatever off the Forbes list. She was on the Forbes richest, 100 or whatever, but she's given away so much of her wealth that she's now off the list. Maybe if she hadn't experienced the poverty she'd had when she was, trying to get the Harry Potter book, maybe she wouldn't have, she wouldn't be that generous. Tony Robbins, same again, very generous guy, lived in poverty before he became Tony Robbins. So who knows whether the path that we decide for ourselves is the best path, even though, because we're always thinking linear. We're always thinking, I need to go from this spot where I don't have the thing I want to that spot where I do have the thing I want. But maybe there's a little journey that you need to go on, like through some houses and see some stuff and live some life or something like that learn some things before you get to the thing that you think that you want. How about that? Like all your friends who have settled down and you're back studying and single AF. There's no blueprint for how life should be led. You're absolutely right, Wax Pusher. So what I did is I came up with a list. I think this is probably backwards for you, so I'll just go through it dead quick. This is how we figured it out. So, I think there's 10 things about rejection to remember. Important things. One is, it's not personal. It's not like the universe or even an individual has it out for you, just going, we are going to ruin this person's career and not give them any opportunities. That's not what's happening. It's happening, rejection is happening to everybody. An example that really made it hit home for me. So that same great job that I thought I was going to get and didn't get. The guy who had got the role that had knocked me out of the picture, I saw him recently and he was saying, oh, well done for something I had got. And he said that, this is a bit complicated, but he went up to play the husband in the thing that I had got and said, as soon as I saw the role, I knew I wasn't going to get it. And so I was thinking, of course, everyone's dealing with this. It's not, because sometimes you can make it feel like, oh shit, this is just me. Everyone else is succeeding at everything they're doing. And it is literally just me that is dealing with this. And that's not the case. It's not personal. It's happening to everyone. And I also realised as well, I mean, this is like really obvious stuff. So I'm being honest and saying sometimes you have to go through some stuff to really realise something experientially, not know it in your head. Obviously I know it in my head, but to feel it is a different thing. And I felt that sense of like, oh, I'm getting jobs that other people were probably wishing they got. I'm losing out on jobs that, do you know what I mean? It's all of us are in this same boat together. We're all experiencing the same thing. So these are just a few words to try and give it a bigger context so that maybe it doesn't sting so much when it happens. I do genuinely believe that every no sculpts us to be a better artist. I think that somehow that no, like the Beatles example I gave, is like maybe, I mean the same with U2. People are always like sharing like rejection letters at U2. They could have been shit when they got rejected by that by that record company, and that no could have made them go, guys, we need a new sound, or we need to do something different. So I think every no, if you want it to be, can be a way of sculpting you into a better artist. There's definitely something positive in the no that is usable and could take you forward. I mean, Steve Martin says, get so good that they can't ignore you. I don't think it's necessarily only about being good, because sometimes people are great and they just, you know, for some reason it's just not their time, they're ahead of their time or whatever. But yeah, I think the no is important because it sculpts you. Can't read my own writing. Not a what? All right, forget that one. Another thing about it is we're not entitled to a yes. I mean, this is what I said already. Like, just because we're doing it, it doesn't mean that we're gonna get it, and it doesn't mean that we are owed it or we deserve it. It's just, you just have to put it out there and see. A friend of mine said to me, because I was feeling kind of like, I don't know if I'm sometimes you go through that space of you think, I'm never going to get another job again. This is it. It's over. I'm done. And he said he has a completely different attitude when it comes to auditions. He was like, I'm excited to find out where that next job is coming from. He knows it's out there. It's just a matter of where is it coming from. So he treats an audition like, okay, no, it's not you. Okay, it's not you. All right, it's not you. Whereas I'm like, where is it? So that's a really great attitude. I try and take that on. I'm not really there yet, but that's such a sort of more peaceful, like, it's better for your mental health. Do you know what I mean? Like, to have that attitude towards something. It's like, okay, no, it's not there. It's not you. That's cool. I'll just keep looking. Ooh, I wish I could do that. Also, remember, it's random. It's like I said, it's all those any other business type of reasons why sometimes. Oh, you do that too. I think that's so great if people are able to do that. I'm just not there yet. It's random. You'll definitely learn something for next time, even if it's that you don't like the person who's auditioning you. I don't know, you could learn anything. I mean, this is not specifically about acting, but there's something out there to be learned. Sometimes the job isn't just about the career, exactly. You have to trust as well. It might not be your time, that might be what it's about. You have to trust. The Christians say, God's denial? No, God's delay is not God's denial. And you know, as I say, I'm not talking from a Christian perspective at all, but I think that's a really great... I try and remind myself of that, you know, when things don't go my way, is that God's delay is not God's denial. Sometimes things aren't meant to happen. Sometimes things are meant to happen in a way that doesn't make sense to you at that time, but there is a bigger sense to them. Sometimes folks meet their husbands and wives, you know. Also, I think it's good to... I've written watch this space. Sometimes when I don't get a job, I look to see what happens in my life in the space that job would have occupied. And it is often very interesting. Something different, something that you wouldn't have expected comes along that it's a bit left field and great. And something that you're like, that's a really great opportunity. So I would say, just because that thing went away and you really wanted it, doesn't necessarily mean that was what was meant to happen. There might be something great. So watch the space of where that thing was going to be. 2 more to go. The other thing, the penultimate one is no. Oh, I know what number 3 was. It's not a race. It's not a race. So the rejection doesn't matter. I think that relates to the timing one. You're only trying to be better than the person you were yesterday. You're not racing against anybody else. I am guilty of that because I look at other people and I just think, oh no, they're really winning and I want them to have what they've got. But I feel like I'm getting left behind sometimes. I have to remind myself it's not a race. We've all just got to walk the path that we're meant to walk and not worry about what other people are doing. It's a hard track to get out of, but yeah. Any advice? Let me do that at the end. Real account 8. I'll speak again at the end. Okay, so the last 2. It never stops. There will always be rejection. This is something that I was just thinking about Angelina Jolie, as you do, and I thought there must be things that she goes up for that she's just like, oh man, I really wanted that job, and that it goes to someone younger or different, or they make the role a guy, or so there's very few great screenplays floating around Hollywood, and everyone knows where the great screenplays are, and everyone's after them, because most of the time it's Superman 18 and Spider-Man 75. So when a great script comes out, people are just like, I want to be on that list. I'm talking about sort of A-listers now. But there's not enough scripts for all those people to be doing all those great roles. So someone's going to face rejection. So every step of the way, it's going to be there. It's just that the things that you're going to get rejected for, hopefully you're going to get bigger opportunities that you can get turned down for. That's the only thing that you can guarantee, really, is if you get more successful. There's no guarantee that there won't be rejection, only that the things you're getting rejected for are better. I did the Landmark Forum last year, end of last year, and one of the things that this woman said, facilitator said, is like, most people seem to be wanting to obliterate problems from their life. She said that is not what life is about. Life is about having better problems. So instead of, I'm worried about putting food on my table, you want your problem to be, I want to make a big change in my career. I'm stuck at the, you know what I mean? Like, you want to get bigger problems. You're never going to not have problems. You just want to make them bigger. You're never going to not get rejected. You just maybe want the things that you're getting rejected for. You want to be in the game for something bigger. Maybe that's what there is. And the last one is, imagine you've already won. Because you have. If you're in a position to be thinking about your art, you've won at life. You know, what's his name? Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So this sort of, I don't know, philosopher or something, he has this hierarchy of needs, things that, a hierarchical structure of things that humans need. So at the bottom is things like, you know, water, food, rest, and then it's like safety and security, and then it goes up and up and up. And the top of it is creativity and self-actualization. So he clarified afterwards that you don't necessarily satisfy 100% every tier before you move on to the next. But if you're in a position to be thinking about your art, then I would say you've probably won. And the fact that, you know, you're in a position to pursue this is a gift. A number of people that are stuck in jobs, or feel they're stuck in jobs, where they can't even think about pursuing a creative life, or it doesn't occur to them that it's a possibility. And here we are, complaining that we might get rejected. I mean, I'm really talking about myself here, because I do default to self-pity sometimes. And as I was thinking about doing this, thinking about what to say in this this chat, I was like, yeah, I do that a bit. I've got to learn to be more grateful. Not learn to be more grateful, just live in gratitude more, because I've already won. We've all already won if we're thinking like this. And the rest is just icing on top. This is more wins. Because the brain is always going to be creating a new desire. The life that you're living today was one of your wildest dreams, you know, 10 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever. So every day is a win. Know what I'm saying? And I think that's it. I think that's it. Thoughts? What did you say, Joey? If it's not mainstream and what everyone is okay with, it gets rejected. Joey, I don't think that's true. I think that there are a lot of people that specifically don't like mainstream stuff. For example, I'm going to use stand-up as an example because I know that world well. There are some people who hate Michael McIntyre specifically because he's mainstream, and seek out other people like, say, for example, Stuart Lee, who would be considered an alternative comedian or an alternative to Michael McIntyre. So I wouldn't say that being mainstream. Hey, Godwin, I wouldn't say that being mainstream is automatically not being mainstream. Sorry, is automatically going to get you rejected. Drag is a huge one. I should have worded that better. Huh? What? Any thoughts, anyone? Because otherwise, oh, that's it. Hey. Hello. I just wanted it to be something that's positive to take into the working week, that when these things come along, that maybe some little bit of what was said in this makes a no be more of a tool than a barrier. That's all. If you just joined halfway through or something like that, this is going to be on my Insta story for another 24 hours. I think that's how long they put it up there. And then I will also download the video and put it on YouTube as well. Anyone got any thoughts on what I should talk about next? I was thinking I would talk about chasing the dream, because I hear that phrase a lot, and I was thinking the other day, it just occurred to me that that might be always hustling. Good to see you, Sharon. Anyways, thanks for being here. Appreciate the fact that time takeout must be scheduled to impart your education and experience views. Thanks, Wax Pusher. I realised that as I was doing this, I felt quite sort of like, part of me didn't want to do it, because I'm suddenly thinking, what do I know? So I've just been speaking from chasing the dream, creating the dream, Sharon, creating the dream. Yeah, I've been a bit sort of self-conscious, thinking, what do I know? So I might have been a bit overexcited. Great coaching, one of the things I've got. You got to give a speech to an audience. You'll be fantastic. Oh, cool. Thanks, Joey. That's really sweet. I'm gonna. So just to talk about what I might talk about next week, chasing the dream. I just feel like I want to re-language that to something else, because chasing feels like something you may never forget. So I want to maybe reframe it so that it's something a bit more grounded or something. But I'll have a think. All right, guys. Well, listen, it was really great to be here with you, and thanks for sticking with it. What do we do? 46 minutes. I think that's about right. Any more than that, and it's just like, I got shit to do. So achieving, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to think about it over the week, but I'll be doing another talk at the same time next week, 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, 12 PST. That's it. I've got nothing more. Thank you, Carly. This is because of Carly Ashdown Artist. She she's encouraged me to do this and given me the motivation to do this, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a really long time. So thanks everyone for being here, and I will see you next time.